We have team coverage as police investigate another shooting at the Independence Center Mall, this time outside in the parking lot. We begin here at 5 with Emily Rittman, who was one of the first to arrive at that mall. Emily.
Ellen, we just spoke to police who tell us one person was shot in the head outside in the parking lot. We can tell you that this is a scene we've seen here in the parking lot. Car seats being carried away from vehicles that were damaged by all of the bullets that flew here outside of the Independence Center. I'll have Andrew also push in on one of the many damaged vehicles here in the parking lot. Miraculously, police tell us even though that one person was shot in the head, they were taken to the hospital and they are expected to recover. They were alert enough to speak with investigators. Now, a silver car that we showed you at 4 p.m. was towed away from the scene, and police believe this was an incident that involved people inside of two vehicles shooting at each other in the parking lot and then quickly speeding away from the parking lot. They tell us several people are in custody for questioning, but they are still looking for one of the vehicles involved. That vehicle is described as a dirty Chrysler 300 sedan, and police are asking anyone who may have been in the parking lot, seen anything that unfolded here today, to come forward with that information. They've picked up the evidence markers, but earlier it was a visual reminder of just how many shots were fired in a busy parking lot. Here's what police had to say about that.
This could have been a lot worse. We checked area hospitals for others injured immediately, just hopefully that no one else was hurt, and that's been the case so far. Some of the rounds, they appear to be rifle rounds, and with a higher velocity and able to hit much further away, and that's really bad. That's a bad situation. So we're lucky that it wasn't as bad. It could have been a lot worse.
And we still continue to see families walking out of the mall. And this is a place for families to come. And when we talked to families that were coming out, seeing all the police, seeing all those markers, going to check on their vehicles, they told us this is just so disappointing, that this is not only a place they like to come as a family, but it's also a place where a lot of people come to work as well. And they don't want to see their jobs negatively impacted by the number of incidents that they've had at the mall. We'll continue to work to bring you more information and bring you updates. Reporting live, Emily Rittman, KCTV5 News.
Yeah, and Emily, as you were talking, we saw a family walking by and a police officer was holding a car seat. So that really does put things into perspective. So many people affected by violence. All right, Emily, thank you. And our coverage is continuing with Betsy Webster. Betsy, there was a shooting at this same mall only days ago that brought some new rules.
Well, right. It was just 4 days ago that we were last at the mall to cover a shooting which was clear on the other side of the mall. And I have some new details on that. Police just informed us that the shooting victim, the 16-year-old boy who was shot on Thursday, like today's shooting victim, was also a suspected shooter, not a bystander. That time, the 16-year-old boy was shot in the leg. That was inside the mall shortly after 5 p.m. on Thursday. One person was detained, but that person has since been released. Police are still looking for others involved. That teen is still in the hospital ICU, but stable. Before that, there were numerous unarmed fights between teens, most recently on December 26th. In some cases, police say hundreds of teens have converged at once. We talked to a loyal shopper about that today.
Not good at all. And I think that makes other people shy away when they hear this stuff that happens at Independence Center. Then they don't want to come here no more, and then that hurts the mall, and the next thing you know, it closes.
Now, there have been numerous recent efforts to address particularly those large gatherings of teens and the violence between them. In late November, the city instituted a 9 p.m. curfew on mall property for unaccompanied minors. Then last week, the mall created a 3 p.m. curfew on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays for unaccompanied minors at the mall. To be clear, we don't know if today's shooting involved teenagers or adults, or I should say minors or adults, because there can be adult teenagers. But sadly, what it is still another case of violence here at the mall. Reporting live in Independence, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Yeah, and hearing teens trying to solve problems with guns, that certainly is upsetting. All right, Betsy, thank you. Keep us updated.